Hey guys, it's DJ from Taptrix here. Just got back from YCS Philly last night, and one of the big breakout decks of the weekend was Taptrix artifacts. I think artifact decks in general are the biggest part of the format right now, even though they didn't win the event. It's hard to judge based on what finishes the event since the top 16 and up is draft. But just wanted to go over the deck since not everyone is totally familiar with it. So we'll start out with 3 Taptrix Remelias. Some people don't play a full set of these, but I mean, it's one of the best Taptrix cards, obviously, other than Dionia. It also has the special summon effect, lets you pop back rows, which is really, really important in this meta, since most decks right now are playing like 12, 13 trap cards. We've kind of shifted away from all the combo decks that people have been playing for the last 6 months to a really, really grindy format. And that might just be because it was the first tournament of a new format with Primal Origin legal. Then we have 3 Taptrix Dionia. It's a debris dragon for the deck, more or less. Lets us make 1 card rank 4s, and when it specials Mermello, we can pop back rows, or if it specials a copy of itself, we can set a trapple from our graveyard. So there's a lot of card advantage there, which is good, since, as I said, the format's really, really grindy right now. Next we have 4 hands, 2 fire, 2 ice. Not much to say about these cards. They're actually format defining right now. Pretty much every deck that's not Geargia is playing them for the time being. I don't know if that'll stay the case. The reason they're so good right now is most people don't know how to play around them. People weren't playing cards like Deep Prison, and they were leaving monsters that you could just run these into in attack mode. Which, once people catch on to that, like, these cards get a lot worse. That's actually, I didn't play them at Philly because I thought more people would be prepared to play around them than they were. So, right now they're really good. I think they get worse with time. Then we play 3 Artifact Moral Text. The best artifact card, obviously. The other artifact we play is 1 copy of Beagle Tech. We play him so drawing Moral Tech sucks a little less, and it actually lets us make easy rank 5s. Without him, it'd be pretty hard, just, you know, summoning Moral Techs and trying to make something happen. But yeah, it's a low monster count. You already play a lot of normal summons, I think 10 of them, just with these monsters, so not really too much space for more other than maybe another Beagle Tech or Artifact Scythe or something. But yeah, these are the necessary monsters for the deck, more or less. Obviously, you can change the numbers of the Taptrix or go up to 6 hands if you want to, but 6 hands gets really cloggy, and the Taptrix cards are pretty good. Then we have 3 Upstart Goblins, 3 Pot of Dualities. You don't special summon on your turn almost ever, other than summoning Taptrix Dionia. You're normally not going to crash hands on your turn because you don't want to run into a Deep Prison, just in case. So if you're not going to summon her on your turn, you know, you can duality freely. It makes the deck very, very consistent. You very often will see your turn 1 Mermello to get a trap, set a bunch of cards, and be kind of good to make sure you don't lose the game. Then 3 Mystical Space Typhoons. Again, the format's very backer heavy and grindy. This card also lets us set our Moral Techs and turn them on that way. So it makes drawing them suck a little less. You could also play Artifact Ignition, but with only 4 artifacts in your deck, that seems a little greedy. If you wanted to play another Beagle Tech and maybe 1 or 2 Ignitions, that doesn't seem bad at all. Or an Artifact heavier list with a lot of changes to it, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'll make another video to probably talk about pure artifacts later. And then 1 Pot of Dichotomy. You play 1 or 2 of this card. You don't want to play 3, I don't think. It gets very cloggy. But this is an insane advantage engine with the hands, since, you know, when you summon a hand, you've already effectively got 2 types for it, then both your Taptrix monsters are different types and your artifacts are fairies. So it's very easy to get the full 3 types in there very quickly, and it lets you keep playing monsters, since, like I said, your count is very low, and recycling hands is just an insane amount of card advantage. That's it for the spells, though. And then we play a lot of trap cards. First and foremost, 3 Artifact Sanctums. It's the reason the Artifact deck is so good. Like, Abyss Sphere was already a good card. This is an Abyss Sphere that if it happens to get Mystical Space Typhoon, we get to blow up 2 cards. It lets us also, like I said, special summon Beagle Tech if we draw any Moral Techs, so we can blow them up and make a rank 5, which is pretty strong. There's some pretty good rank 5s in the format. Then our trap pool that I'm playing is just 3 Taptrix Trap Pool of Nightmares. You can also consider playing Void Trap Pool, or I think it's Deep Dark Trap Pool that's pretty similar to Bottomless and removing level 5 or higher monsters. I wouldn't play that one. Dragons have fallen really far out of favor. I think this is the best one to play right now. It's pretty hard to play around already. It's the best one against like Madolches and decks like that. So definitely 3 of this card in my opinion. And then 2 breakthrough skills. It's one of the best cards in the mirror match. Not too much else I want to say about it. It lets you get 2 negates against artifacts, which is just so big. Then 2 wiretaps. Part of the reason I consider this card so important right now is because of breakthrough skill. In mirror matches, obviously, like drawing more breakthrough skills is a big advantage. When your opponent plays a breakthrough skill, not only does it negate the first negation, but it doesn't go to their graveyard when you wiretap it, which is actually huge. In general, it's also important to be able to negate Artifact Sanctum without destroying it so they don't get to pop a card. And it lets you just make plays very freely. Very, very good card with, you know, big trap decks being the metagame. Then I'm playing 2-dimensional prisons in here right now. This is a concession to the hands. You know, I don't want to summon a Rumillo, have my opponent summon an Ice Hand, and make me look really stupid. So I think Prison is a very, very hot card to be playing right now. With so many hands being played, there's just no reason not to include it in your deck if you have space. Then just some one-ofs, Warning, Bottomless, and Torrent. They're the best summon stoppers in the game right now. Warning's debatable sometimes just because the life loss is relevant, but in the current format, I don't see a reason not to play these 3 cards. I'm not playing Compulsory Evacuation Device. That card's very, very lackluster against other artifact decks. It's pretty good against Madolches, but instead I'm playing a copy of Call the Haunted. It lets you set off the Taptrix effects for when they're special summoned. You know, if a hand happened to get warninged or something, it lets you recycle it. And most importantly, if you call Moral Tech on their turn, you get to blow a card up. So, very good card. Considered playing 2, ended up going with 1 just for partially spacious issues and partially I don't want to clog with too many cards like Dichotomy and Call the Haunted that really need me to have monsters in my graveyard before they're remotely relevant. So I went with 1 of each. We'll go into the extra deck now. 2 Abyss Dwellers. It's the best rank 4 really right now. Hands are, you know, a huge part of the format. It also shuts off artifact cards if they try to Typhoon them. Then 1 Honor Arc. Not much to say about him. 1 Daigusto Emerald. This card doesn't see as much play as it probably should. Letting you recycle hands again is just such a huge piece of advantage. So I would definitely put him in if you haven't. 1 Black Ship of Corn right now. 1 Diamond Direwolf. 1 Ragna Zero. 1... I don't know this card's name and I'm not going to try to read it. Anti-Luminescent Knight. I lied to you, I tried to read it. 1 Exton Knight. Those are all the 4s I'm playing. I don't think there's any other ones you need. You could argue for a second Arc, but other than that, I don't think there's any rank 4s that are better than what we're playing. Like, my stroke's not that great right now. You know, you don't need a Pearl to deal with anything. Like, Anti-Luminescent Knight's big enough for the most part. Ragna Zero can kill most things too. So, that's what I'm with. The only reason Dweller is a 2 of why I stuck to 1 of everything else is just how prevalent the hands are and how good it is in those matchups. Then for rank 5s, I'm playing Tiras, Shark Fortress, Wind Up Zenmayo, Constellar Pleiades, and Volcasaurus. The big card for the 5s that's missing is Artifact Durendal. If you play more artifacts, I would play him just 100%, but in a list that only has 4 artifact creatures and 3 Sanctums, it's going to be very rare for you to get good value out of making Durendal. So I chose to go with these guys instead. The most questionable of which being Zenmayo, but it's pretty good against Girgia if it actually resolves. So I went with him in this case. And then Shark Fortress is a bit of an interesting card, but it gives the deck an Oops I Win button, which is something I find very important. When you can spend 1 card in your extra deck to just have free wins given to you, that seems worth the slot. And the last card is Gaia Dragon. Pretty similar reasoning. It and Volcasaurus can steal games, but in general, this deck has a bit of a hard time actually winning the game. So, like, you'll play games and you'll grind, especially in the mirror match where you just grind and grind and grind, and you'll spend 25, 30 minutes in game 1. At Philly, I actually lost a 40-minute game 1. So, like, it's important to have cards that can push through damage, and that's exactly what Gaia does. So that's the whole extra deck. I don't have a sideboard built right now, mostly because the format is so volatile right now. It's going to be changing all the time. Like, obviously, the decks are here to stay, but text here and there, everything's going to be changing, especially local metas that nobody really knows what everyone will be playing since the event was just this week. But a big card you want to be siding is Debunk right now for the hands, the artifacts, hand traps against you. And other than that, like, there's nothing very key right now. Like, just you have to feel your meta out, so I don't want to make too many suggestions for that. So that's it for the Taptrix artifact deck. It was, the breakout deck from this event. I'm going to try to talk some more about the other decks from the weekend, like Madolches and other artifact variants more this week. Hopefully I'll get some videos up within the next couple days about all of that. But for now, here's this deck. It's a big deal from the weekend. You need to make sure you're ready to play against it, and especially for every deck for now, or for the time being, you need to be able to play around these cards. Being able to beat the hands is the biggest part of the format right now. If you're not prepared to play against them or play around them in some way, you're going to have a really bad time. So if you take anything away from the video other than, what a generic Taptrix artifact deck looks like, make that be the hands are good cards and you need to be able to beat them. I know that's pretty common sense, but it's important to find ways for your deck to beat them or your deck will not perform well right now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll have more videos up soon.